He wants to jump
1,000 cars. Sir, you have 1,000 cars.
I don't think I'd attempt to try this stunt.
Or we owe this horsepower to Uncle Sam.
Too many cars.
car. Roses would be...
Like I put my beer belly on it.
You can't immediately tell somebody how many cars you have.
You'll really give those uppity yuppies something to think about.
Stay on the bar. Don't go off the bar with your Bronco.
1980 Volvo horns. What's right?
Yeah.
I want to have a man's coolant.
And he's like, oh, I thought it'd be small. It's for a small car. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still an automatic transmission. They're never going to be light.
It's definitely going to have to crash.
Starting off with Brad buying another car.
That's the West.
Internet. Is this a Nigerian oil print?
I also wish you drove a Camry.
Anyways,
Anyway,
that's a
horrible,
very
horrible podcast content.
very
Talking about a picture.
inside joke. Welcome to Auto Off Topic. It's going to be the last episode of 2023, Brad. How do you feel about that?
Well, it is December 28th, so that would make sense. How do I feel about that? Is that like a greater question of how do I feel about the year being over already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's over.
It went quick.
It did. Very quick. I don't even understand some things. You and I talked a little bit pre-recording here, and we're both like discussing what we're going to talk about today and kind of our year-end wrap-up, look forward to next year, as has kind of become the tradition around here at Auto Off Topic. We always do I think last year we started calling it the Project Car State of the Union. So that's kind of what we're going to do again here. Kind of do a quick synopsis of how 23 went and maybe what's the haps for 2024 coming up, maybe, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how it went so fast, but it did. It's over. New Year's Eve this weekend, 2024. And you know what, Andrew? Thank God.
Okay.
I'm over it.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm over
Had a
it.
good year.
23 behind me. I ended it strong, but it started rough. We'll get into it. How's that sound?
Yeah.
So anyway, what's new with you? What's going on? What do we get to chat about before you get deep into it here? Did you have a good Christmas?
see.
Number one.
Yeah, Christmas was good.
Excellent.
It's funny. I set up for us. I think the link is in the Discord, and maybe I pinned it to the gaming channel. If you've got EA Sports WRC, I did make a league for Auto Off Topic. You can probably also search it on RaceNet. If you know what I'm talking about, you've played the game. So,
Yep.
I forgot to race in it last week, so it does exist. I think I only did like four rallies. It was just for fun. I was doing Group A cars, and I was trying to do stuff that would have been done with the Group A cars. Like last week's race was the Pacific environment stages, whatever you want to call
Like
them.
Japan, basically.
No, there's a separate one for Japan. There's like Pacific rally, like, because in like the 90s, that's where Mitsubishi was like dominant in the Pacific Rally Championship.
So Pacific Rally Championship meaning like island nations or like?
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
It's like, it's not
Philippines.
I think.
Okay,
And because maybe, I'm off the top of my head, maybe Australia's a separate stage in that game or a separate rally. They definitely have Japan as its own rally. I'm actually blanking whether there's Australia in it. I'll have to go back and check. But the game's really fun. And so I was going to do like Group A, and then I was going to go into, I think it's like WRC 1 is how they break it up. So it's like 1997 to 2001. So another sweet spot of rally cars that we like.
So it looks like during Group A years, it would have been New Zealand, Malaysia, Himalayan Rally, Rally Australia, Rally Indonesia, Thailand Rally, Hong Kong, Beijing. So yeah, those China Rally.
They just call it Pacific. So
yep, that's okay. So the game calls it Pacific. So it's kind of like the stages of the Asia Pacific Rally Championship.
Yeah, but it looks tropical. Is what
Okay.
it looks in the game.
So it's more like
it-
Malaysia.
Yeah, it could equate
Thailand.
to something modern that I'm not aware of right now. But there's that. And we played Forza the other week. That was really good.
Yep, absolutely. I want to do that some more. I've been playing solo a bit to kind of build up some cars and whatnot. It's a little bit more difficult to build up cars than in the old game. I think we mentioned that in our conversation about Forza. But it's also a little bit more rewarding because in Forza you could just earn a bunch of cash and just go build every car up to what you wanted it to be. I think it's kind of neat the way this works is you have to use the car. You can have all the cash in the world, but you can't use certain parts until you get to a certain level in the car. And I've been finding that it's been fun to take a car and run it for a few laps stock until you earn enough, point credits to put a set of tires on it and then modify it with a set of tires as your first mod and then kind of modify it like you'd modify a real car. And I don't know if that will eventually get old, but in this current point in time, I'm enjoying it immensely. So I've been able to, I don't even know what I'd call it. They're not full hot rods. They're like, bolt-on cars like a real car would be in my collection. So it's kind of a little bit more realistic that way. But the more you use it, the more things you can unlock. And I'm just trying to build some cars up for our, race sessions so we can have some cars to compete with one another. But
And even
it's
doing
interesting.
single player, it still gives you points.
Yeah.
Multiplayer online, it still gives you points.
Yep, 100%. You can get a brand new car while you're playing multiplayer with somebody, and everything you earn during that multiplayer session goes towards the car. So you build up points faster in an actual, event race, but whatever. It is what it is.
Once I fix the wheel settings back to normal, so much better.
Yeah, much better.
It's
quite
to the
enjoyable.
point where I want to try the online multiplayer again with like randos.
Oh, okay. I have
It
never
was
done
pretty
that.
fun when I did it.
Yeah, I've never done that. I know that the AI control in the game is a little bit tough. Like the cars you're racing against in the series events, they're a little unpredictable. But hopefully it's a little better in the online world. I did notice that every time you tap a car, it decides whether or not to give you a penalty for your collision. Thankfully, it's pretty generous with those. And the only time it seems to give a penalty is when you go off track and come back onto track and T-bone somebody. Then you get a penalty. It'll be like avoidable contact, half-second penalty. So, anyway. Yeah, so let's get into it, Andrew. How was 2023 automotive world for you?
Yeah, I had to go back and really think about this because most of the cars, I actually didn't work on a lot of my cars this year. I didn't have to, which was nice.
That must be nice.
Yeah. I started out the year, I did the struts on Stephanie's Crosstrek because it was riding rough. And then I helped my dad do the muffler on my mom's Volkswagen, the Beetle, because it was rotted out. I did a coolant temp harness connector on the Galant, and then I never drove it.
Perfect.
Front brake lines on the G20 and front strut bar.
And a rear strut bar.
Well, the rear strut bar came later, so I split that up, but I guess, I
Okay.
can mention it now. Because I had to take apart the whole back package tray. I put speakers in it at the same time, so that was like a few months later. I did a bunch of track days with the G20, got new wheels and tires for it. And then the biggest thing I did was I went to the Nürburgring for the Tourist laps.
Yep, that's huge. I forgot that was this year.
Yeah,
That's
that
like
was
a bucket list, once in a lifetime kind of deal thing. So
I think
awesome.
that's kind of why I didn't do a lot of other car stuff because it was not inexpensive, but it was worth it.
Yeah, a significant chunk of your fun car money went into that.
Yeah,
For sure.
so, and then we went as a family went to the IMSA at Lime Rock Park, which turned out to be apparently the last IMSA race for a while. They've removed it from the schedule, which is annoying.
Hey, at least you were there, though.
Yeah, it's funny because they clearly on purpose did not tell anyone that, and it was like super busy and packed. So that's a bit of a bummer, but I guess I'll have to go to Watkins Glen now and check it out.
Sure. Or come out to the West Coast to go to Long Beach.
Yeah, well, we'll get to what we're doing in 2024. I finally went to a NASCAR race at a road course, Watkins Glen, after the race I wanted to go to at New Hampshire was rained out because it rained every single weekend this summer.
Which also didn't help the car progress.
No, it didn't. It got a little better towards the end of the summer. Like August wasn't as much as a rain out because the Watkins Glen weekend was good. Then it was like a bunch of weekends of back-to-back stuff in August. August was very busy. I actually I was complaining that maybe I'll talk about this in 2024 because some events got moved around. So, but anyways, Grid Life at Lime Rock Park. I did that instead of the Historics. I'd absolutely go to Grid Life again. If you have a chance to go to a Grid Life on the West Coast, definitely do it. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I
do
fully
one at
intend on
Laguna.
2024,
So,
and I'm
yeah.
I'm going to actually also try to possibly get to that one in Lime Rock this year.
Yeah, and then instead of going to the Historics, I did something different. At Thompson Speedway, they did Staggered, which also has a motorsport component now. It's also really good and definitely recommend checking it out because they do drifting. Well, they did drifting at both events. It was really cool. Then I don't know. I didn't do much. I did a few more track days. Wasn't much this after that. I sold the Q45. I don't know if I talked about that.
Nope, but it's gone.
Yep. Listener Steve Booton wanted it, so he's got it.
Excellent.
And I guess, things for 2024. We're going to the Rolex 2020. We're going to the Rolex at Daytona, and that is less than a month away.
Yeah, crazy enough, right? That's coming up fast.
Yeah. So, if anybody is listening that's in Florida and is going to go to the Rolex 24, we will be there. So just send us a message. We'll be there Friday through the race on Sunday. So we'll be around the track. We can certainly meet up with people around the track if you're going to the track.
We're
not going to meet anybody elsewhere, but if you're at Daytona, we will meet you at Daytona.
We have another Phoenix friend coming.
Okay.
So, Phoenix/Boston friend is coming. Yep. He's meeting 3 other friends from Boston. And,
okay, cool.
They're going to meet us there. So they have an Airbnb, I think. So we'll hang out at the track with them too.
Yep. I think there's some other people I know that might go. So I'll have to send them a message.
Should be a good time then.
Yeah. And I do want to look into like maybe the Long Beach Grand Prix. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see how it goes.
That's on my list.
I bought fuel system stuff for the Galant last year or this year.
Yeah, I skimmed through last year's New Year's podcast just to make sure I didn't overpromise anything. I had to eat my words for this year, which maybe a little bit, but I did hear you talking about buying those for the Galant, and that's why I was curious if you had done them yet, and I didn't think you had, and you hadn't, so I think that
I have not.
We're going to have to hold you responsible for that this year.
I was cleaning up my office down here and moved the box, I think, into the garage. So closer to the car.
Yeah.
So maybe the elves will come and install it.
Open the hood and put it on the valve cover and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So I know you have all that stuff, so I'll try to hold you responsible for that. And I think that one of the big things that I'm going to hold Andrew responsible for next year is using his cars a little more.
Yeah, I took the Galant out once to get a sticker. So
yeah, from the Talon maybe twice.
I drove the Talon a lot more actually. I drove it to Staggered. I drove it to Grid Life. Took it to a couple Cars and Coffees. I've got the rear subframe for that, and I've got all the adjustable arms and all new bolts and stuff. So I would like to try to get to that because that's something I can do right now is set up that subframe.
Yep.
I've
Even
got enough
indoors
space in
in
the
the warmth.
garage. I can work on it.
Sure.
And yeah, I got to do the front mount on that car.
Yep.
G20 shouldn't need much. I'll
Just
just
maintenance.
maintenance, do some oil changes next year. Should be fine. I got the electric fan I never put in the Montero. That thing's just kind of, it just works. It just runs, other than making the
Sure.
ticking noise that eventually I'll get to.
That's going to need to do some more off-road time.
It should. It needs some more off-road time, but it's been doing a lot of cars and coffees because Marco likes that truck. So that's the one
He'll like it even more bouncing down a dirt path.
he will
Yeah.
to figure out how to get him out there with it. That's really it. It's like I haven't had to do much. Oh, I got the G20 to actually shine. That was like a
Most of
saga.
the
That was
year.
like 3 or
Yeah.
4 weeks of polishing.
So what is your New Year's automotive resolutions? What do you hope to get accomplished this year?
It should probably be to drive the Galant more.
Okay.
Use it
So
again.
fix the Galant system, fix the Galant fuel system, and drive the car more.
It doesn't even need to be fixed. I'm just upgrading it because I'd like to switch it to speed density. But I should just drive the car more. And the last time I drove it, it felt like one of the brakes was hung up. So I have to figure that out.
Does Marco's seat fit in that car?
Yes, it should fit. And he also has, we got a minimalist travel seat when we went to Europe.
Okay.
That will also fit.
Excellent. So you can use that in that car. Take him in that car as well. Because he'll probably enjoy being in that car now that he's getting a little older. The sounds, the feels.
He was really, really upset when I sold the Q45. For whatever
Was
reason,
he?
he'd never ridden it.
Well,
don't
he'll
know
have to
why.
make up for it with rides in the Galant. So
Yeah. He
Yeah,
sat
you
in
gotta-
the Talon, like, because I had to like move it in the yard, and he's out there. I'm like, well, why don't you just sit in the seat with me, and we'll just back it into the garage, because at least I know where you are. You're sitting in the
Right.
seat with me.
I'm not going to run you over.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's cool. So that should be your goal for next year. And are you still, do you think, in the market for a chrome bumper car? Or is that on hold?
I'm looking. It's I got some other stuff going on. I'm gonna wait probably.
But if something
But-
comes up, maybe.
Yeah,
Right
hopefully
car,
I'll
right
have
price.
enough extra on hand for it if
Yeah.
it's the right price.
All right.
But,
So
yeah,
I'll stop
I'm
looking
looking-
quite as hard.
I'm looking, but I'm not like exactly ready.
Not putting the call out there yet.
But if the right car comes along, I'll try to make a move.
I believe the auto off topic way, Andrew, is always be looking.
I feel like you could either do that, or if you don't look, the universe will send you the right car, because that happens sometimes too. I was not looking for the G20.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing, though, is I can't ever say that I'm not looking because I'm always looking. Otherwise, how do you find?
ABL, always be looking.
Always be looking. Always be Facebook Marketplacing. Excellent. So it's a pretty solid 23 then. So you started off saying you hadn't done much, but lo and behold,
I didn't do any like heavy repairs.
if you didn't have to, who cares? That's great. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, I kind of
I'm not-
got like I've hustled over the last few years, so I haven't had to do anything heavy.
I'm not at that point in my life yet. I'm trying to get there, but I'm not there yet. So I don't know if I'll ever be there. But hey, who's counting? So, all right. So my 2023. If you remember, in 2022, I bought 3 cars. 5 cars, technically. But I got rid of 3 cars. And then 2 of the cars that I got during 2022, I got rid of. So there was a ton of moving and whatnot of cars in 2022. So for the entire year of 2023, I can confidently say I did not buy or sell a single car. which might be the first time in a very long time.
Hold up. I thought you bought the Mercure.
Nope. I had that at the
Mercure
end of
in 2023.
22. November of 22.
Really?
Yep.
Whoa. I thought we were talking about that being delivered in like the spring.
Nope. November of 22.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how fast this year went by. So
Whoa. Okay.
rewind now back to 2022 a little bit. I was upset because I bought that car, and then right after I committed to purchasing it and sending the money across the country to buy it, I was laid off. So that one hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I got laid off. I spent a ton of money on a car, immediately got laid off, and then had no source of income for a while. So I spent the first 3.5 months of 2023 unemployed and had hoped to get a ton of stuff done on the cars that are here. But unfortunately, the internal workings of my brain went, instead of being full production, into full depression mode, because I was pretty bummed about my job because I genuinely loved the job that I was doing. So unfortunately, I didn't get anything accomplished for the first quarter of 2023. Like literally nothing. I don't know that I drove a car. You know, we'd go somewhere and Naomi would drive in her Hyundai, and that was it. I didn't do anything car related. Pretty bummed out about it looking back on it, but here's to never doing that again. So the first 3 months of the year, you know, I was going through like pictures and everything, kind of trying to put together what I did this year. And there's really nothing before going to the Phoenix Nationals NHRA event in March, which actually coincidentally is the same week that you were out here. So I went to my first NHRA pro level drag event this year in March. I went to my first Indianapolis 500 this year in May. I returned to the reason that I moved to Arizona in the first place for the first time since being here. The Prescott Rally came back, and I was able to go to that. So I first came here to Arizona visiting in 2010 with you and Stephanie to attend that same rally. So that was kind of a full circle moment in my life. But once March ended, I started working a job. And the job that I was working, I was literally working from 7 a.m. until minimally 6 p.m., sometimes 8 or 9 p.m. And I never had any free time. So that job also was not ideal after having no job. So now we're into July and I still haven't done anything. Almost nothing. I did buy a vehicle, just not a car, because in the end of July, beginning of July, sometime in July, I bought a motorcycle, which leads me to my first project of the year, which didn't happen until September. Oh, nope. I got to rewind a little bit. The same month I bought the motorcycle, I also started the suspension on the Corolla. So I did the suspension on the Corolla, the coilovers, and the refresh in the rear. Coilovers in the front and the refresh in the rear. Then I got a motorcycle that same month in July. Motorcycle worked for 2 weeks and the fuel pump went out. And that became an ordeal for like a month trying to get the correct part for the fuel pump. I don't think I got the motorcycle completely running again until after. So I think for the entire month of August, it was down. So I didn't get that running again until September. Oof, I'm pushing way ahead here. I don't know the order of months apparently, Andrew. So nope. August, I didn't do anything. The motorcycle was down all of August. I got it together in September, wrote it a bunch of September. Took a new job. Finally got out of that job that I was doing 15-hour days. And things finally started to calm down a little bit in my professional side of life around, I want to say it was the beginning of October. that's when the job thing kind of came down. And finally, I had free time. So Naomi and I took a trip where we rented the wonderful Nissan Rogue and drove down the entire coastline of the western side of the United States, all the way from into Canada and into Mexico, everything in between. Came back here, did a couple of minor projects on things. I did the intake manifold on the 944 to prep it to go to Radwood, and then didn't take it because it needed wheel bearings. And then I'm sure we all know what's going on right now with the car. I did take to Radwood because that was in November. I took the Eclipse to Radwood and blew it up in Long Beach. So while I did not buy a car this year, I did buy one motorcycle. But a purchase of one motorcycle is certainly less moving parts than last year's in and out of 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 different vehicles all told. So much calmer. Tangentially, I kind of bought a vehicle this year because Naomi bought a new car. So that was in September, I want to say. We bought the Maverick, which somehow already has 7,500 miles on it. Wild. But yeah, that's the only new car that came into our life. But that's not my car. That's Naomi's car, which she'll say it's both of our cars. And she's not wrong. But at the same time, like, that's her car. So I don't count that one because I can't count it towards my car count. So that's her daily. So yeah, that's how 2023 went. It was a wild one. Between not having a job to having a job that took too much of my life to finally everything calming down in like October. So unfortunately, because of all that, there's not a lot of car stuff that happened. If I dug into it, I would go back to every episode we recorded during the year. There's probably a bunch of little projects I'm forgetting that I did. But overall, I didn't do much, or I haven't finished much, I guess is the right way to say it, right? So I think that 2024 is already starting in a better position than I started 2023 in. So I'm hoping I can kind of take some of this energy and move it forward and not have the same kind of year in 2024 as I had in 23. So I'm excited to go to Daytona with you because I have never been to a 24-hour race. That's a bucket list item for me. It'll be a first. We're going to Indianapolis again. You talked about...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep, you talked about doing Long Beach, so I want to make sure that I get to Long Beach again. And as far as the cars, I have a few things in mind that I kind of want to put out there into the ether so that they're known. I think that 24 is going to be a big year for a change of vehicles around here. So,
Big things coming.
I don't want to say that because certain people will make fun of me. But yeah, big things coming. There's going to be, I don't want to call it a fire sale, but things are going to be moving on. So I talked about the fact that the Eclipse was supposed to be sold, and then I drove it and blew it up. There's still the potential that after I put it back together again, it might be sold. It all depends on finances and feelings. The 944 is next after that. It's going to get a big project thrown at it when I'm done with the Eclipse. It's going to get all new suspension. It's going to get new brakes, those aforementioned wheel bearings. It already has new tires. And then it's going to get a minor amount of body work done. All in the chasing the value of the car, I guess. Because I think that by doing all of those things, it's going to bring the value of the car up a lot. So putting the effort in the car, I think is going to be worth my while. So that's going to be as soon as the Eclipse is back together, the 944 was under the knife. So, and the culmination of all of that will be new timing belt, balance belt, water pump, and then that'll be, next person who buys the car gets it 100% ready to go. All maintenance done, all maintenance accounted for, and ready to enjoy for another 30 or 40,000 miles or whatever the timing belt interval is in those cars. So I think that's the plan after that. I think the Mercor is going to go away this year. I've talked about my trials and tribulations with that car. Oh, I guess that was a project this year. At the beginning of the year was the fuel system on the Mercor was probably in January of this year. So I got to go through that car as well. Not quite to the same level as the 944, but just a couple of things. Developed a little oil leak I want to fix, and a couple of minor little problems, and move that one down the river as well. And then decide what to do with that car cash. So there's been a few ideas up my sleeves. I've been talking to you and everybody in the Discord off and on about purchasing either an Evo, importing an Evo 3, Evo 3, Evo 4, or maybe doing another Galant BR4. I don't know. We'll see. But the big goal for 2024, not counting those, is to have at least one of the two projects in the backyard running. Either the Starion or the Cressida. Hopefully both. I'd like to not go through another year without having those cars running. And then the other big thing is Naomi's Mustang. It has to happen this year. It's been put off too long, and it's not my car. It's our car, but it's her car, and I want to get her car done and her car running because, listen, she helps out and puts up with all of this nonsense with my cars. So it is certainly a deserved thing, and I want to get that taken care of this year. So actually, her Christmas gift from me this year consisted of almost nothing but Mustang parts. So a bunch of engine stuff that we needed to pick up, we now have. So we can start putting that together. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. It's a whole lot of the same, Andrew, and I hate to be like the negative Nancy there, but this year was a rough one, and not a lot of car stuff was really accomplished, but hopefully next year is a little different. There's big plans. So, and I need to make sure that I'm getting out to Massachusetts at least twice this year too, to finish the Yellow Colt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Well, I need to be there twice because I need to be there once to take the gas tank out of it and send it off somewhere to be cleaned. But then it takes 7 to 10 days to get it back from the radiator shop that cleans the gas tanks. So I need to coordinate that somehow. So it's going to require me going out there, taking it apart, and then going back out there again, putting it back together again. So it is what it is. But I want to have at least 2 more cars gone from Massachusetts before this year is out. So that's where we're at. It's been a year, Andrew. It's been a year.
It has.
Another year of cars. So, but like I said, the good news is that I'm in a better place this year. So I'm not starting the year unemployed. I'm not starting the year depressed. I'm starting the year in an enjoyable career and having positive thoughts about all the garbage in the side yard. So the plan is to have everything, as much stuff as possible, fixed, I think is the goal, right? So
Yeah.
As much as possible fixed. So anyway, that's it. That's my 2023, 2024 look back and outlook. So
Yeah. So what I was talking about with events is that I was annoyed and have been annoyed over the years that all of the big car events would fall on the same weekend almost every single time in July, like IMSA, NASCAR, your dad's concourse, the Mistlewood, New England Forest Rally. Like it would be like one weekend or like a 1 week spread between them in July.
Correct.
But now, so no more IMSA at Lime Rock. And they moved the also the NASCAR race would be the same weekend. They moved the NASCAR race to the end of June. So that's different. And New England Forest Rally as a national event has been canceled. So they're talking about a regional event. I don't know if a date's been announced for that, but there's talks about that. So we'll see. So yeah, now everything's not on top of each other. But, you know, it's good and bad, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the 2024 New England Forest Rally plan is. I don't think there even is a technical, like officially it's happening of it yet, is there? I think last I saw they were still looking into hosting a regional event.
Yeah. So I'm sure people will make it happen because the problem is if there's not that regional, the rest of the rallies are very far away for people to get to.
Sure. But the other problem is in order to run a regional event, I'm sure it costs more because you don't have or it's harder to get permission for things because you don't have the national support behind it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't have enough information on that either, unfortunately. It's not really.
I know they were looking for a clerk of course, so which is an extremely stressful unpaid position. So
yeah, no thank you. No thank you. So actually one of my big goals for 2024 is to host this rally event out here. Not a dirt rally, but like a road rally event.
Forenoon Cup.
So, nope.
Yes,
not Forenoon Cup. No, this is unrelated to Forenoon Cup.
Okay. I didn't do one in 2024 and I apologize. The year got away from me. I will try to do one for 2024 and I know people want one and they will help if I ask for help. I just haven't done that.
Sure. So the one out here, have I talked about it at all on here yet?
I think so. You were talking about somebody was asking you to help set up the roads or something.
Okay, well, it's happening now. So
all right.
I can officially say something. So the rally is going to happen. It's going to happen March, April. It's going to be, so I don't have an official date yet. We're working on either the last weekend of March, first weekend in April. It needs to be late enough in the year that there's not going to be snow up north, but early enough in the year that's not going to be 120 degrees down here in Phoenix. The name of the rally is going to be the RSR, which is the Rising Sun Rally for here in Arizona. The Rising Sun Rally, well, I'll just get into it. I'm not a huge fan of the name because it makes it sound like it's just Japanese cars.
Yeah.
But it's not just Japanese cars. There's no hard, fast rule about cars, but it's going to be invite only the first year. So if you're listening to this and you want to learn about it, let me know and we can chat. So it's going to be a single day event in the same vein as a lot of these typical rallies you see happening, in the California coast. And we have a couple of super high-end ones that happen here up in the mountains. But this is going to be a little bit more casual. It's not going to be a free event. There will be a cost involved with it. But there's also going to be official starting point and a midday lunch and an end of day banquet. So, and we have a couple of people tasked with being our photographers, and it's going to help them get paid as well to do their thing. So it's going to be an official event. We'll have little magnets and stickers and t-shirts and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's definitely happening. It's being put on by myself and my friend Mike and my friend Tim. Tim has been instrumental in some of the California rallies in the past, and he really is the driving force behind it. He knows what it takes to put one on and how to really kind of organize it the way he wants to organize it and set the roads up and it's it should be fun. Like I said, we're going to try to keep it small for the first year, maybe get a little bit more interest in it for the second year, and do a 2-day kind of overnight deal a little further away for the second year. But this first year is going to get our feet wet, and we're going to have a single day, morning into evening, almost a loop, so that it ends back somewhere where it's closer to the city, and then we'll be able to have some kind of a end of event banquet at a restaurant or something down here in Phoenix. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. We've had a couple of organizational meetings, and we have some more coming up pretty quickly. So there'll probably be more information coming out soon. So that is unrelated to anything Forenoon Cup that I still need to get on and do. And that would be, just a way more casual drive. So, but yeah, that's happening. So it's soon.
Cool. Sounds really good.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Figuring 20 cars or so for the first year, probably a good number. We don't want to overdo it. And then the car theme is really just going to be, I don't know. It's going to be cars that have some sort of sporting intention. So we don't want your Camry, Prius, Corolla.
Your
It's
Camry. Your
definitely not my Camry. No. I mean, unless it's an old 80 Corolla.
No
Or
Rogues.
something. No Rogues. No SU, no tall SUVs.
By the way, Auto Off Topic Car of the Year, Rogue.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Or lately it's been Camry talk that I've been hearing about. So listen, we're not fancy. We don't get access to anything fancy. So we got to review what we can review. So, and we review what we have, which are Camrys and Rogues. So that's what you get. We got a Maverick in there too. Got a Maverick. So for new cars this year, we reviewed a Maverick, a couple of Rogues, and a Camry.
Maverick's the only one you spent money on, so that's really the car of the year.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, last week was presented by Honda Days because you bought a new Honda, even though it was a scooter. And this week is the car of the year, is the Maverick, because it's the one we actually threw down for. So I like that. But yeah, I think 2024 is going to be good, Andrew. It's going to be good for Auto Off Topic. It's going to be good for us individually. I know I teased having some more merch for sale soon. It is in the process. Last I checked, the hats were ordered or there or something. Plus some
I
other
would like
products.
to look into some t-shirts because I did a fun design that everybody liked,
Okay,
but I don't want it to be a sticker. I think it'd be more fun on the back of a t-shirt.
sure.
If you know the one I'm talking about.
I know the sticker you're talking about. Absolutely. T-shirts are harder to get done than hats, unfortunately, it seems. To get done
Yeah,
well is the
I've-
problem.
A couple of people have told me just try to find a local place to deal with. So I'll see.
Yeah, the drop shipping was
it's-
way more convenient, but not consistent.
It is not.
Yeah.
And if I would do it, knowing our audience, no offense, I'd probably just do a run of large and extra large black t-shirts.
Sure, none taken. Large is
It's,
fine.
you seemingly can't go wrong with a black t-shirt these days. They are very much in style. So
It is a car guy uniform, so
yep,
don't
and I
think
get
the-
it. It is
I don't
slimming.
think we'll ever go out of style. It's more than it's just slimming. Like if you're a car guy, you inevitably get greasy, and anything that's
Yes.
not black gets ruined. So
Or you're driving around in your project car with no AC and you've got flop sweat. So when you get out of the car, if it's black, it doesn't show as much
exactly.
until it
Yes,
dries.
black t-shirts are the way to go for sure. But no, we have lots of good plans. I don't want to sit here and say that exactly what everything is, but there's lots of stuff that's hopefully happening. So also I wanted to give a special shout out 2023, rest in peace, Parked on the Block.
Yeah, I'm looking into that.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to you about that after the show. But yes, 2023,
there's
rest in
some-
peace, Parked on the Block.
Yeah, there's some work to be done to that. So
Yeah,
I feel like I'm going to double check. I don't think we had any. I think we had a couple pedantic corrections from last week's episode.
Oh, we definitely did. We definitely did.
Okay. Yes. The
Mr. K in the Nissan commercials
yes.
was not actually Mr. K.
Right.
It was an actor portraying Mr. K,
Yes.
which made me upset. Because I always thought it was Mr. K. And it was presented as it was Mr. K. And
Yep.
Mr. K was alive and well at the time. And I don't know why he wasn't in the ads. It's not like the guy had an acting role.
Because he's not an actor.
Yeah, but he didn't have like a lot of words to say. He said stuff like dogs love trucks. That was about it.
Yeah.
Like-
I have to hire actors, man. Actors
Yeah.
union.
But I thought if you're portraying a genuine person who's alive, it's fine. So, whatever.
The and Sam said so. Daihatsu being pronounced Daihatsu might be right as Desu. It's she's is pronounced Des. Also, Daihatsu apparently has ceased production because they
Yes.
have been lying about crash testing for the last 30 years. So that was kind of funny that we talked about Daihatsu commercials and they're shut down.
Yeah, lying about crash testing results for 30 years. That's a long con.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
I think there was a scandal a few years ago. Mitsubishi did it for the Mirage, but it was like 2 years. And it
was that
only in
crash
Japan.
tests or was that fuel mileage?
Oh no, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't crash test. It was mileage.
Yeah, it was fuel mileage, which is I feel like way less
Oh yes,
self-serving. Like you're fudging the numbers for fuel mileage is one thing. Telling somebody they're buying something that's safer than it is a whole nother story. Like I don't think that that's good.
which I think maybe that happens in Japan because they don't have independent crash testing. We'd have to look into that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm not
you know,
sure.
Here, it's
It's
crash tests are certified by the highway safety or whatever it is.
National Highway Transportation
Yeah.
Safety Administration.
Yeah.
So also we talked about luxury brands,
Mm-hmm.
and that Mazda's luxury brand was Unos.
That's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't sure at the time. I thought the Unos was only what they called the Roadster.
No, because remember the Cosmo was also called a Unos.
Oh, right. And so was an RX-7, right? Or no, that was an
That's F and
Infiniti, right?
Infiniti, yeah.
interesting. Kind of weird how they did that, right?
Yeah, and then their luxury division they were going to have a luxury division like Acura, Lexus, yada yada, but it was going to be called Amati.
That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, but that did not happen. So, let's see. Lots of things got corrected last week. There was one more. Oh, I talked about the RX-7 4-lug versus 5-lug,
Yes.
and the 4-lug went until 88.
So I was right to call you out. I had a hint in, like,
No, but the ad's at 89, so
okay.
it was still wrong. And I'm not going to confirm that one as fact yet because I need to do a little more digging myself. So, because I was trying to dispute it, and I kept coming up also with 87 as the last year of the 4-lug car. So, but I want to put out there that somebody did tell us that it was 88, but sources need to be cited, and we'll revisit that one next week. So,
Yeah, but that was a
could still
fun
be
one.
right.
People liked it.
I could still be right.
I did
Yeah,
a little extra
absolutely.
editing to that one.
Yeah, cutting in the ads there was a little key, so that was good. Good stuff. But, all right.
So you know what's crazy? A few years ago, you used to be able to it was really easy. You could just rip audio from YouTube.
Mhm.
You cannot do that anymore. It's very annoying. So trying to find get the audio for the ads. This is so bootleg, but it worked. I played the ads into this microphone from the computer to record them.
It's like you were back in fourth grade recording songs on the radio to cassette tape.
Yes, but
Yeah.
if I had a separate cassette recorder and a radio that didn't have a cassette player.
Okay, so you didn't like line in record. You did literally
Yeah.
speaker out to microphone in.
Yes,
Well, it worked.
it did work. Because there's like a hack on a Mac. You can open up QuickTime and do a record from the internal mic, and it'll work sort of that way.
Okay.
It's not the greatest quality, but it works because they were already low quality anyways. Commercials.
It's funny. I wonder if that's going to cause any issue with YouTube playback of the podcast if you uploaded the podcast to YouTube.
No, because they're all cut short enough, and technically it's fair use because we're commentating on them.
And it's commercial. It's not like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, hey, whatever. A little behind the scenes action right there.
Yeah.
So
You
anyway,
can-
yeah,
copyright's interesting like that.
looking forward to 2024. We have some stuff planned. 2023, we had some stuff planned that we didn't get to, but again, as we just talked about, this year was a bit much. I think 2024 is going to be a much stronger year. We're really going to be pushing Scale Autocast stuff. As you know, the Scale Autocast group build is happening. I need to repopulate some stuff out there into the internet to remind everybody about that.
Yep.
But there are a few builds in process, so that's good. Going to have that open at least through the end of January. It might wind up getting pushed a little bit just because the holidays, I think, put everybody back a little bit. But at this moment,
I
in
haven't
time-
even started. I was going to try to start tomorrow.
Yeah, at this moment in
We'll
time,
say
end of
that.
January is the date. So we might push that to like mid-February. But
Yeah.
at this moment in time, it's end of January. So not that it matters because there's no prize. It's just, hey, trying to get everybody building, right? So that's happening this year. Scale Autocast. We've already done our first episode. We're about to record our second episode. So that's actually moving forward. Everything's happening. Everything's moving forward. Just a little bit at a time. I think I spoke last week. Maybe I didn't. There's a video coming out shortly featuring my Blue Colt from a friend of the show, Jalopy Jeff. So look for that on YouTube and on his Instagram and TikTok pages. And yeah, follow the podcast, Auto Off Topic, on Threads, on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, TSISS350. And Andrew, where can they follow you?
You can follow me, Ray Snanger. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. In the metaverse. And Scale Autocast is also on Instagram and on Threads.
Excellent.
I think you're doing most of the Scale Autocast on Instagram, and I'm kind of doing it on Threads, which is fine.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I haven't put a post
Content's
up
a little
there
bit different.
in 2 weeks. So
And well, the other fun thing is you can now, they fixed it. You can share a post from Instagram to Threads and vice versa.
but now that
is
means
useful.
that Instagram and Threads are just becoming the same content.
Sort of. I mean, I've used it to go back and repost some stuff that's good for my Instagram to get a little more traction. So
Okay.
that's where it's useful.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to schedule some more posts, but that's a topic for off of the air. So,
Happy New Year, everyone. Right?
yeah, Happy New Year.
All right, cool.
Here's to
Sounds like an episode.
2024.
Yeah. 2024. Keep your cars analog, no rogues, and aim for the roses.